Right, I'm back. I'm back after a long while. Let's roll the intro. What you're doing? I mean, what you're doing is brilliant work. Okay, welcome back, guys. It is now what the 1st of February of this glorious 2021. My name is Jason Bed. I will be your host for this evening's podcast. It is just a few minutes before 6 o'clock. And my special guest with me tonight on our podcast is none other than Pieter Henderson. Pieter, my man, welcome back. Welcome back to my podcast, man.
Hi there, Jay. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to be well.
That's good.
Trying
That's
to be
very
positive.
good. You seem to be you seem to be doing a good job about it.
Yeah, for all the viewers out there, I've been off the podcast for a while now. If it wasn't for Pieter here that motivated me, I don't think I would have been back on the podcast. So Pieter, I got to say thanks to you, Chana. You actually, what can I say? You motivated me to do another podcast.
No, only a pleasure, Jay. And I must be honest, the level of professionalism and energy that you put in the new promotion video, if that's something to go by as to what you're going to do this year, then I can't wait to see the rest of it.
I just hope so. I just got to keep myself positive.
Shot.
All right, Pieter, let's get into it. You approached me, or you phoned me last week. Was it last week you phoned me? Last week, Wednesday.
Week before. Yeah, week before last.
You phoned me up and you said, let's do it. And
yes,
you wanted to speak about your experience that you had with COVID yourself.
Yes.
You want to shoot with it, my man? Go for it.
Yes.
The floor's yours.
Jay, the reason why I brought this up and got in touch with you regarding this COVID thing is, as far as I'm concerned, the information that the government is putting out there is misleading, and it is actually leading to more deaths. And let me tell you why I say so.
Okay.
When COVID hit the world back in February of last year, or look, I know it came out earlier, but I only really started picking up on the severity around about Feb. I then went and I did a bit of scratching around on the net and stuff like that. And I've back then already found out about hydrochloroquine and what you have to do and not have to do and stuff like that. So
yeah, and Trump was also putting big emphasis on that. And of course, the media shut him down, obviously.
Yeah, but this is even, and I don't want to blow my own horn, but this is actually before that. This was back in the first week of March of last year. And I actually went to my doctor and I said, listen, I want the prescription for this this treatment. I want the following stuff. And he gave me all the stuff. And basically what I did was I got medication for nausea, diarrhea, and then this antibiotic, which he wouldn't give to me, which he said to me, okay, listen, come and see me when you got the symptoms, and then we can take it from there. Mm-hmm. Then time passed there, and I noticed the media campaigns of government said, look, the first thing you got to look out for is a cough. The second thing you got to look out for is a high temperature. Now, let me tell you something. Nobody that I know of, and I've spoken to quite a few people. I've spoken to 3 people that had similar experiences to me, and then I've spoken to numerous other people. A cough is not one of the symptoms. When you get a cough from COVID, that means your lungs are so compromised. That's what's leading to the cough. So it's not an early symptom. Neither is the high temperature, because what happens is COVID attacks your lungs. And the minute it attacks your lungs, your body then increases your body temperature to fight the enemy in your body.
Yes.
And that causes the fever. And that's also too late now.
Yes.
So those two things that are supposedly early warning symptoms are actually the symptoms you get 3 days before you die. That's the reality. And I want people to know that your first symptom is fatigue. You will feel extremely tired constantly. I started having naps, something I never used to do. I started having naps, um, and you're just constantly tired. It then progresses to a point where you feel so tired, you're not even list to watch anything on TV.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't even feel like putting the TV on or going onto the net and read stuff up on the internet. You don't feel like reading a book. You just feel like getting into bed and sleeping. So that's your first sign. Then what happens is you then get either diarrhea or nausea or a combination of diarrhea and nausea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That then is followed by very, very severe flu-like symptoms, mainly in your kidney area and in your back. I also had it in my eyeballs. That then is followed by a noticeable shallow breathing experience. You will notice that you breathe very shallowly. And then that is followed by the fever. Now, here's the scary part about this whole thing, Jay, and here's why it is such an extremely dangerous condition. You will get the fatigue. The fatigue stays with you all the time. You don't get rid of the fatigue even after that. I had COVID back in 24 December last year, and I still suffer a bit of fatigue. So that doesn't really go away quickly. But then you get the nausea and the diarrhea. I had that for 2 consecutive days, and it went away. So now what happens is, a guy like me that believes in letting your body fight whatever attacks your body, you then say to yourself, well, okay, it's a sign of COVID, but hey, I conquered it. I don't have diarrhea anymore. The following week, an almost 7 days gap between the diarrhea, I got the second symptom, which was the flu-like symptom, the sore back, the sore kidneys.
Okay.
That was a week later. It also lasted 2 days. And again, it went away without me taking medication. So now I'm thinking to myself, damn it, man, I'm doing well. I got rid of the diarrhea and the nausea. I've now got rid of the flu-like symptoms. And you actually start believing that you're bulletproof.
Jeez.
And then the shallow breathing pulls in. You start noticing your breathing shallower. I had that the day before Christmas, the day on Christmas, and then the Saturday after Christmas. I woke up and I thought to myself, okay, my breathing is not deteriorating, so I must probably are kicking this one's ass as well. And that's your mistake. Because what happens is now the attack is in your lungs, and what then happens is you get a fever. So the Saturday night after I contracted it, I woke up at about 10 o'clock with a fever of 39.5. The following day was a Sunday. There was no doctors open. I couldn't get to a hospital, and I treated that fever with Panado. My brother told me about Panado. So I took Panados. I took 4 in the morning, and every 4 hours I took another 4 Panados. That brought the fever down to 85. The Monday, I went to see a doctor. He gave me a prescription that is the world standard set by the World Health Organization that all doctors at that point in time had to follow. And it consists of an antibiotic, it consists of zinc, and it consists of vitamin D, and nothing else. Any doctor that prescribed anything but that.
Is this like a flu pack type of thing?
Well, you can call it that. You can call it that.
You mentioned 3. That's antibiotics, zinc, and then vitamin D.
Antibiotics, zinc, and vitamin D.
Okay, well, yeah, vitamin D is what you get from the sun anyway, but you're obviously saying it.
Yeah, so they give you those things. Yeah, and that was the Monday. The Monday, my breathing deteriorated. I went to shower the Monday night, and I lost my balance in the shower. I slipped I slipped and lost my balance. And you know, when you try and recover your balance, you exert a certain amount of energy.
Yeah.
And that amount of energy got me, resulted in me starting to breathe heavily. And because I could only breathe shallow, I couldn't get enough oxygen in to satisfy the oxygen that I need to deal with this keeping my balance type of thing. And I swear, Jason, that was probably one of the most scariest experiences of my life. I was standing in that shower and I was saying to myself, listen, Peter, if you don't want to fucking die tonight, you better get a grip on this.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to slow your breathing down. And I managed to slow my breathing down. I went to bed. I woke up the next day. My breathing was a little bit worse than the Monday. I kept on taking the tablets, and on the Wednesday, my breathing started coming right again. But even though my breathing started coming right, I still could not inhale. Like, you know, when you go to the doctor and he says, inhale, I want to listen to your lungs. That inhale, I couldn't do that. So and I must also be honest, from there, the medicine seemed to have worked fairly quickly. I went to for a follow-up with the doctor the following Monday, and I said he did my test my oxygen intake, which was 86 on the first consultation. It's supposed to be 90, not less. Otherwise, you need to go to a hospital. There were no hospitals available. There were no oxygen packs available.
Oh.
So the following Monday, when I went again, my oxygen intake was 96. So it improved by 10 points. And I said to the doctor, I'm confused because I still can't inhale. And the reason for that is my lungs filled up with a liquid.
I was going to ask you. So I was going to ask you, it's not a phlegm. You know, when people, like asthma's phlegm.
It's not a phlegm. You don't cough up any phlegm, bro. Nothing. You do not cough up any phlegm.
That's like liquid.
I think I coughed up maybe 3 or 4 times since I've had the COVID. I coughed up phlegm that was maybe as big as the thumb of my nail, the nail of my thumb. That's a little bit of phlegm you cough up.
Jeez, like
so he said to me, my lungs are filled with liquid. And that liquid didn't want to drain. So my daughter managed to get me a nebulizer. We went back to the doctor. He gave me stuff that you put in a nebulizer.
Yes. Yeah, I've got one too. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 days I was on that, and that fixed that part of it. So to get back to my reason for this phone call was, people must be aware of 2 things. One, you're going to be lured in a false sense of ability because you conquer these little things, but then that thing hits your lungs, and that's where it wants to be. Once it's in your lungs, you need to get to a doctor ASAP, or you're kicking the bucket. A buddy of mine, Louis, after I spoke to Louis on the 10th,
your brother, ne? Yeah.
My brother,
yeah.
On the 10th of January, he found a mutual friend of ours, and he told him what I told him. And that mutual friend waited until he couldn't breathe, like I was on the Monday night. They phoned the ambulance picked him up on the Thursday night. The Friday, during the day, they put him in ICU. Sunday, he was gone. And the reason being, his lungs filled up so much, they couldn't do anything for him. So this thing wants to get into your lungs. And that's why I'm saying people have to understand the early symptoms are not coughing, and it's not fever. Fever you get once your lungs are starting to fill up with liquid and your body is trying to fight it. The early symptoms is fatigue, nausea or diarrhea, flu-like symptoms, and shallow breathing. Some people say they lose their sense of taste and they lose their sense of smell.
Yes.
My daughter who had COVID, she lost her taste and smell. A friend of mine whose brother has got it, he lost his taste or smell. But those are very, very early stages. The main message I want you to give your viewers is ignore what government is saying. The 4 that I've given, those are the 4 early symptoms, and act. When you get the first one, when you get fatigue and diarrhea. You got COVID, go and get tested and go and get the medicine and you will be fine. That medicine cures you in 5 days. If I didn't wait that long, I would have been up and about, running around like a jumping jack 5 days later.
I got a fun fact. Okay, well, oh, I lost you there.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry,
I'm saying it's a fun fact because it's actually quite funny, but maybe it's not a fun fact. Maybe it's more of a scientific fact. Of course, people out there will disagree with me, but a mate of mine that lives in Cape Town, he says he knows somebody that lives here in Sasolburg, ironically, just around the corner from where I live. And his wife got the COVID and his daughter got the COVID and he didn't. So he asked, well, why did his friend not get the COVID? And he said, because he smokes marijuana. Dacha. So everyone in his family got the COVID except in the husband. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's a bit far-fetched. But I'm hearing a lot of stories like that out there. Smoke dacha, smoke greens, and you'll be all right.
No, bro, let me tell you something, Jason. I buy into that argument as well. Louis' one best friend, a guy by the name of Willem, he's also a heavy weed smoker. His wife works in the ICU unit with COVID patients, and she's had it, and he's not getting it. So I agree with that. I also think that people who smoke, funnily enough, might have a better chance than people that don't smoke, because if you smoke, your lungs are what's the word I'm looking for? Are compromised, and the airways aren't as clean and clear as a guy that doesn't smoke. So that thing gets into your lungs. He battles to get to where he wants to be if you smoke, but if you don't smoke, he gets there easily. Here's another interesting fact. The 3 people that I spoke to that had near-death experiences like myself, nobody in their family got COVID. I mean, 2 of the guys and myself, I sleep next to my partner, and I coughed all over her. And she said to me the one day after it was all over, she said, I was just waiting for this COVID to kick in on my side, the way you were coughing and stuffing like that. And they don't. So it's not something that's very highly contagious, in my opinion, because of this lived experience. I don't think it's highly contagious.
No, that's the vibe that I'm
actually baffled as to how you get it.
It baffles my mind too. And I mean, we've watched a lot of podcasts from Ramon and Ronaldo and German and they've all had their researchers done it, but it baffles with the mind. I know, big time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I fully agree with you.
But
so yeah, it's short and sweet, but that's basically what I've got on the COVID thing. You know, I didn't want it to be a long thing. I know you want to speak about.
There's one more thing that I also want to speak about that you wanted to also, because I know you were okay. Yes. All right, so yeah, where was I? So before we get into my next question, the vaccine obviously landed today. I think it landed today from India. Did you hear about it? A lot of speculation about the vaccine. Are you gonna take it? Tough question. I know there's a lot of people listening.
No, if it's a voluntary thing, I won't take it. If it's compulsory, like the smallpox vaccine that we take, then I will take it. I mean, you don't have a choice if it's compulsory, but if it's voluntarily, I won't. No.
Yeah, but you know what the Christians are saying out there, and I myself, I'm a Christian on that, but the Christians are saying that if you take in it, you're accepting the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, no, there's a lot of conspiracy theories. Look, I don't like to say that people believe in conspiracy theories, because I feel that the cancel culture people use the label conspiracy theorists to put people on a guilt trip. But there is a conspiracy theory that they want for just about as long as forever. There's talking about a system that they want to bring in where they're going to put a microchip in you, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And I won't be surprised if they do it with the vaccine.
Yeah.
My take on this current vaccine, that it's not that one. I'm not saying that it won't still happen, but this vaccine that we got here at the moment, to me, is more like a flu shot, because a vaccine takes 3 years to develop.
Yeah, that
You
is.
can't
Yeah,
do
that is the big thing
something.
about it. I mean, it's been a year, and here we go. Boom, we've got a vaccine now. Also, it just raised a lot of
So,
skepticism out there.
and I read this. Yeah, you're right. And I read this thing about this guy on Twitter 2 days ago, where he says, yeah, but everybody says it's 3 years to do a vaccine, but because of the fact that we've already had the genome for COVID so many years ago, that's crap, man, because some of the things that takes the longest in development of a vaccine is the testing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
of
got to
course.
taste this first in a lab, then on an animal, then on a human being,
Human
then on
trials, yeah.
different human beings.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't take 1 year. So that's crap. It's a flu. It's a flu shot and nothing more, in my opinion. And that's why they say it's 80% or it's 90% effective. If it was a vaccine, it's 100%. You don't hear people that say, "Well, I had the measles vaccine and oh
Yeah.
shit, I got measles or I got
Yeah,
small." They
and
don't. You know, so
that's why the media out there don't like people like me and you that go around and spread these little false
yeah, the
conspiracies.
thing is, it's not that they don't like you. Oh, Jay, it's not that
They
they don't like you.
despise
It's that
us.
they are being paid, huh?
They despise
Yes,
us, the
but
media. They
they
despise us.
paid to do what they do. They're not doing it for mahala. They're getting paid to victimize you and to label you and to ridicule you and to gang up against people like you. You know,
Yeah. And more
they're
importantly,
getting paid for that.
don't get the left wingers out there to watch this podcast, because they're gonna label you
Please
all
let
kinds
them
of
watch it.
labels.
I want the.
Yeah, they're gonna bash you down. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay,
They must bash us. Yes.
what's up? And big thick.
What's up? Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's
I'm
talk about what I like to.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna delete WhatsApp, but yeah, okay. You go into it. You said you're gonna delete WhatsApp.
Yes. That was a foolish thing to say to begin with. Just
No,
off the bat, we just admit that.
there is a big reasoning to it. I mean, I understand why people, but we're gonna go into it now. Yeah.
Yes, the reason why I'm saying I was foolish to make that comment is because there's a lot of people that refuse to cancel or delete WhatsApp, and they stubbornly want you to contact them on WhatsApp. So I've given everybody till the end of January to delete it and to change. And if those that don't want to delete it and change and I've moved to Telegram. If they don't want to do it, then that's so be it. There'll be no contact. But look, that whole thing is part of, and that's, it's so funny. Here in South Africa, it just cracks me up.
Yeah.
Here in South Africa, we worry about what Jacob Zuma did when he was president, what corruption happened yesterday and the day before, and how the guys are stealing the PPE stuff. We're so focused on what happened and not what is happening or what is going to happen. So here's something that very few people in South Africa actually are aware of, and it's called the big tech war, or the big tech fight. I don't like to use the word. Use the word war, because I've seen war. My brother has been in a war, and unless you've been in a war, you'll be very economical with using that term. So I'm going to use the term the big tech fight.
Yeah.
So what's happened is big tech, and big tech is Google, it is YouTube, it's Facebook, it's Twitter, and it's WhatsApp. Those are the big five in big tech. There's also Amazon. Now people will say, but Amazon sells all sorts of shit. Yeah, but that's Amazon's small part of its business. The biggest part of Amazon's business is called AWS. It's Amazon Web Hosting Service. They are most probably the biggest web hosting company in the world.
Yeah.
And because of that, they have got cloud beyond belief. Okay, so we all became aware of the WhatsApp thing. And the WhatsApp things got triggered here in South Africa because WhatsApp is part of Facebook, and Facebook wants to take everything that WhatsApp can collect and give it to marketers.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. And that's where the South Africans got into the thing. But that's so secondary to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is this. Big tech is taken over the internet, or they have already taken over the internet.
Oh yeah, years ago. This privacy thing is not new. I mean, it's been like this for years, man.
Okay, but the big tech fight is not about privacy. That is where South Africans are missing the plot. The big tech fight is about your freedom to say what you want to say, how you want to say it, and when you want to say it, and where you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, big tech is a private censorship bureaucracy entity. And that is, and everybody in South Africa thinks it's about your privacy. It's not about your privacy. Privacy is the secondary issue. The main issue is what you can and can't say. If you go onto any of the social media platforms, you will see how many people, and more so, are complaining about, I posted this and Facebook put me in Facebook jail, or I did this and they deleted it, or I did this and they muted. That is freedom of speech being curtailed by big tech.
Censorship, yeah.
So what did big tech?
The censorship.
What's that, Jay?
No, I said the censorship. Correct. That you're talking about. I mean, and we saw the same censorship with Trump just before the inauguration of Joe Biden. I mean, they took him off all the platforms, just like this. Yes, but it's beyond that. What big tech used to say to people is, look, if you don't like our rules, like let's say you're talking on Twitter, and Twitter puts you on mute for 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, or whatever the case might be. If you don't like that, start your own social platform. Start your own social media platforms. Well, people
in America then.
There's been social media platforms being created, and even those platforms get deleted.
Yes. So that's where I was going to. So people started creating alternative social media platforms where people can express themselves, that places like Twitter is muzzling.
Yeah.
And the most well-known one at this point in time is one called Parler.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, Parler.
Yeah, now Parler is hosted by AWS, Amazon Web Hosting Services.
Correct.
And Amazon took Parler off the internet. So now they are basically saying, it's not just good enough to have your own platform, you must have your own web server system. Okay, so what I would like to do in this chat with ours is give the people, we've given them a background as to what this is all about, why it's the fight is on, and it's not so much about your privacy. It's more about being able to say what you want to say. I'm going to give you an example. There's a woman that tweets. She's got a blog on Google Blogs. She's got a blog there. And on Google Blogs, she blogs about seeds. So she had a beef about all the seeds, or 90% or 80% of all the seeds in the world are patented, and those patents are owned by about 3 or 5 companies. And those 3 or 5 companies are also the guys that own all the rights to the pesticides and stuff. And she was having a big beef about this. Google kicked her off for 5 days, and Twitter deleted some of her tweets. And this woman was only tweeting about seeds that have been patented. I mean, now, who would have a problem with that? Why would you want to muzzle this woman's opinion?
Interesting, yeah.
But that's what they're doing.
Yeah, a blog.
So
a blog
more and more people.
No, it's fine. Carry on, yeah.
Yeah, it's a blog.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so, I never thought about a blog can be so powerful, you know. It can, I suppose.
Yes.
A lot of us, I don't think.
Quite clearly.
I don't think the most of us South Africans do blogs. I don't really know of much people that do blogs. Do you? Do you know?
No, there's not many. No. I'm not so much into the blog space. I'll tell you why. I've got a very short, I wouldn't call it memory span, but I get bored very quickly. And if somebody writes something in 12 pages and they could have given me a one-page summary, I'd much rather prefer the one-page summary that goes through the buts and ifs and ands and that's. So I'm not much into the blogging space, and I don't know many really well-known bloggers. No,
I do know one, and I had a podcast with him some time ago. The Dodgy Idealist. I don't know if you heard of him.
No.
He's got his own website. Well, call it a blog, and he speaks about some interesting stuff. I'll actually share you the link and send it to you. And Dodgy Idealist, if you're out there, how's it, bro? Shout out to you. Look,
please, I would be curious to have a chat with him.
Look, that's what's up, okay? But I think what people are more on about is that Facebook now is preparing as antitrust lawsuit against Apple. Have you heard about it?
No.
Yeah. Well, what's happening now with the iOS 14 that's coming out?
Facebook against Apple.
Facebook against Apple, yeah. Because what's happening now is Apple is changing their software in the new iOS 14. And what they're doing is they're giving the people out there a choice to either choose to say yes to allow them to track, the privacy stuff and they track your cookies and that, or to say no, where you don't want Facebook to track what you do. Because what Facebook is doing, okay, and remember that video that I sent you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to play it, yeah? Well, in the edit. I'm going to just play it and let the people see it quickly.
Okay, everybody, listen, this is the last live I'm doing tonight, but there's some crazy, crazy shit going on right now on Facebook, and yes, I cussed. And you're going to too. You're going to too when I show you this, okay? But it's okay. Listen, we're all going to repent. We're all going to repent. We're all going to repent after seeing this live, okay? You got to see this, okay? And then I'm going to go home because I'm at my friend's house. I'm going to go home. Listen, click on Facebook, right? You all want to know why you get them ads? Facebook's tracking every activity you do when you're offline. When you're offline on Facebook. Here's what you do. You click on your Facebook app. Follow me. You click on these little bars down here in the right-hand side. Click on these little bars right here. Follow me. Then what you do is you scroll. You're going to scroll to settings, okay? You're going to scroll to settings. And then you're going to scroll up. This is crazy. Hold on. You're going to scroll to right here, I'm sorry, where it says your Facebook information, okay? You're going to click on off Facebook activity. It says here, view or clear activity from businesses and organizations you visit off of Facebook. Facebook is viewing your activity that you conduct when you're off of Facebook. They're tracking every app that you visit. Every app that you visit. If you do online banking, they're tracking when you click on your banking online app through your phone. Are you guys tripping off of what I'm showing you? Because I know I was tripping when I saw this. So what do you do? What do you do? How do you turn this thing off? Well, first and foremost, you go here. You got to clear. Clear the history. Clear the history. Okay? Your activity has been cleared. So now there's no apps up here, right? You see that? Okay, now hold on. Now you go more options. Manage future activity. Manage future activity. Future activity. Turn this puppy off. Turn it off so that Facebook can't see what you're doing when you're off of Facebook. Have you ever wondered why you see certain apps pop up, certain ads pop up on Facebook if you go make trip reservations through VRBO or Airbnb? You make trip reservations, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you watch that video, in the video she mentions a couple of things that you need to do. Go to the settings and take off the what's it on the adverts off.
Yeah.
Because when you go off Facebook and when you go into other apps, may it be Take a Lot or your Uber app and that, Facebook can track what you're doing on the other apps because you've given permission. You basically said yes.
Yeah,
That is scary. That is scary. Why does Facebook want to track me or what I do when I'm not on Facebook? It's almost got nothing to do with Facebook. So yeah, Apple has been sued because of this now, because they've given an option now. And it just makes me to wonder now that big tech companies out there are getting scared now. They're getting scared now. So I mean, Apple is not the first one to approach it. Who's next? What other apps are out there that's going to say, look, do you want to give permission so we can track your cookies and that? Or no? Yes or no? Interesting times, eh?
You see, interesting, and I don't know if you got the message. I logged on to Netflix 2 nights ago, and I had to accept something that Netflix wanted to do in conjunction with Google or Chrome. I can't remember who it was, and I declined. And because I declined, I couldn't watch Netflix.
Yeah.
And I had to accept it to be able to get to watch Netflix. You see, Jay, let me put it to you this way. I don't have a hell of a big problem if somebody tracks me and wants to use that information to sell to a company that's interested. Like, let's say, for instance, I go to motor car races, or I go to the beach a lot, or I surf, or whatever it is that I do. And a company, whether it's Facebook or whoever, can collect that information and give it to another company that, let's say, sells beach camping stuff, which I might be interested in, and then show me that beach camping stuff on my time. I don't have a problem with that in principle. Where I do have a problem with it is this. They're using my data to do the collection of this information. They're using my data to sell the products to me.
Yes.
And then they're using my data to buy the products. So if I say, well, I like this thing that they want to sell me, I'm going to click on here. All of that is my data.
Yeah.
You know?
Look,
So
it irritates the hell out of me. I mean, if I go on Google and I search something, then all of a sudden, a few minutes later, it's on my Facebook feed. It irritates the crap out of me.
But here's the thing is, we're not being rewarded for it. Now, what this fight against big tech is busy doing, and I've prepared an alternative big tech solution for South Africans, and motivation as to why it's a good idea to move. So if I can start with that at this point in time. Okay, first of all, we all know about the WhatsApp thing, all right?
Yeah.
So the alternatives to WhatsApp is Telegram and Signal. Now everybody's going to tell you, oh, but Telegram is a Russian-based software, and that's crap. It's not a Russian-based software.
No, they said it's an Arab-based software.
No, the real story is the guy that started Telegram had some sort of a Telegram come Facebook thing going in Russia. He was a Russian citizen, and then the Russian government wanted the data, the information. They wanted to track people, and then he refused. And then there was a one big hell of a palaver, and he buggered off from Russia and he immigrated to India. And he started Telegram in India. So the Russian connection is the guy that did the Telegram development is an ex-Russian. It's like saying Elon Musk is a South African and Tesla is a South African product. It's a similar type of comparison.
Yeah.
So why Telegram is so good is, first of all, it was developed in India. Now, India has got most probably the cuckest internet in the world. So Telegram runs on a very inferior internet service. Telegram uses a fraction of the data that WhatsApp uses. And the reason for that is they don't track you. Tracking takes a cuckload full of data. So it's cheaper. You got more privacy for people that are concerned about privacy.
Yeah.
And it's a better alternative. You get a much better service. Signal, I know Elon Musk punted Signal. I'm not too much into Signal because I've been following Telegram for quite some time, and I've moved over to Telegram. Just about 99% of my communication that I used to do on WhatsApp is now on Telegram. So that's WhatsApp. I suggest to people take WhatsApp, dump it, go to Telegram. Secondly, the next one that you got to look at is Google. Now, what Google does is they take your information, your browsing history, and they sell it to advertisers.
Yes.
Now, the alternative to Google is a server, or actually not to Google. Before I get to Google, sorry, let me go one step back. So after you've left WhatsApp, you need a new browser. So you need to either move away from Internet Explorer or Google Chrome. Now, where do you go to? You got two options. You got Firefox.
There's DuckDuckGo.
No.
Yeah, DuckDuckGo.
No.
I use it.
Firefox. No. You got Firefox.
Yeah,
or you
Firefox,
got Brave.
Yeah.
Firefox is a browser. Brave is a browser. Google Chrome is a browser, and Internet Explorer is a browser. Those are your four main browsers. You've got Safari for people that are on a Mac.
Yeah, that's Apple.
And you've got Opera. Okay. But for us PC, Microsoft guys, those are your four big ones. And I suggest people go to Brave. Why do I suggest Brave? First of all, Brave
what's that?
is Brave. B-R-A-V-E. Brave.
Okay, never heard of it. Okay, I'll check it out.
I'll send you the email with all the with this thing that I'm telling you now, and I'll send you the link so you can put it on your links below.
Okay.
So Brave, what I like about Brave, it's funded through donations. All right. Brave is funded through donations. And I just want to have a look here. And it's the people that work for Brave, the volunteers and stuff. They do volunteer work. There's a lot of free labor in Brave. But the beauty about Brave is that when you use Brave, you get money back.
Oh, okay.
In 1 week last month, and I wasn't on the net much last week, I made 33 US cents. Now people will say, well, 33 US cents is not much. But if you take 33 US cents and you multiply it by 52 weeks, and you then multiply it by the Rand dollar exchange, you're sitting on 250 Rand minimum. So here's a company that will give you 250 Rand for just using their browser. Google doesn't give you jack shit.
Jack shit, yeah.
They just use your stuff.
YouTube
So that
give you
is why
YouTube give you money, but YouTube give you money, but you gotta have 1,000 subscribers. I'm not there yet.
Yes, but you gotta get a lot of subscribers for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your first step. You got WhatsApp, and then you got your browser. Now, after you've changed to Brave, you're gonna need a search engine. Now, at the moment, everybody uses Google.
Yes.
And what I suggest is your DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo is a search engine. And the big difference between DuckDuckGo and Google is if you type in cars, DuckDuckGo is going to give you cars. If you type in cars, Google are going to give you car engines, car tires, car steering wheels, all sorts of things except cars. But here's the thing. DuckDuckGo is not going to take that information and sell it to somebody else. So your privacy is protected with DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we moved away from WhatsApp by using Telegram. We've moved away from Google Chrome and we moved to Brave. And we moved away from Google and we moved to DuckDuckGo.
I was gonna say.
What does that leave us with?
I was gonna say Mozilla Firefox. Okay, they cracking down on their super cookies on privacy issues. So they also starting to be conscious now and aware that this privacy issues is now going to affect them in the long run. I think a lot of these big tech companies are preparing themselves for what's to come. They see something and I see something. So a lot of these big tech companies, they've been precautious. They don't want to be caught with their pants down.
I don't know if I agree with you on that one. Let me tell you why. Your big tech, the big tech five, the big five of the big tech, they've got certain business models, and their business models are the browser is the product we are selling. They can't change it.
Yeah, if there's a saying.
What DuckDuckGo does.
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, I said there's a saying. If the product is for free, if the app is for free, then you are the product. Makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. So what has happened is there are guys out there, mainly in America, that have said, but this is a really cuck business model. We must go and get a business model where the browser, the human being, is not the product. So what DuckDuckGo does is, DuckDuckGo sells advertising space, but not based on your history, but on the stuff that you are searching for. So what they're saying to somebody is, if you sell cars and Peter goes and types in second-hand cars, then we will show him your second-hand cars. We won't show him anything else, and you're going to pay us for that.
Yeah.
So they got a different business model, and most of the alternative tech guys work on that principle. They either get finance from the user, or they get finance from donors, or they get finance from direct advertising, but not from selling your information. Okay, so just to recap, we've moved away from WhatsApp, we've moved away from Microsoft Chrome, we've moved away from Google. The next one is Facebook. Where do we go to when we leave Facebook? There's only one real option for that, and that's called Gab, Gab.com. Gab is exactly like Facebook. It's got groups, it's got events, it's got everything that Facebook has got. The big difference is they're getting funded by only a few funders. They don't have funding from secret people. It's all out in the open. Once you're on Gab, you might want to upgrade to their pro service. For 1 year, it's going to cost you $99. But for that, you get like a free YouTube channel, but it's not on YouTube. It's on Gab-tv and things like that. You then get the 2-year subscription. That's $180. A 5-year subscription, that is $350. And a lifetime subscription for $500. And Gab, trust you me, go and check out Gab. It is exactly like Facebook, but without the irritation and without the censorship.
Sure, interesting.
The other alternative to Facebook is something like Locals. Now, what Locals is, locals.com, what Locals is it says, well, listen, if you are interested in buying chicken dust in the middle of a storm in Cape Town on a Sunday afternoon, if that's your thing and you want to have a group like that, then come to Locals and create a group of people that are braai fanatics that like to braai in the pouring rain on a Saturday. And start a small group
I did on
that.
Saturday.
So Locals, I was taking a piss out of you, my friend. So Locals is for smallish groups. It's not for where you get invited to the group. It's not somebody comes and say, I want to be in that group. So you will be the group moderator or admin, and you will go and invite different people to your group. So that's how the groups in Locals work. So for Facebook, you've got Gab and you've got Locals. Next one I want to look at is YouTube. What do we do with YouTube? YouTube, you can either go to Gab-tv, but I will highly recommend Rumble, R-U-M-B-L-E, Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble.
The beauty of Rumble.
They also got a subscription for you.
Yes.
I went to Rumble.
And you get your money, you get a lot more money and a lot quicker with Rumble. And you can sponsor people on Rumble and things like that. It's just a beautiful, beautiful alternative to YouTube, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. Lastly is Twitter. Twitter's competition is a social media platform called Parler. Now, if you know anything about Twitter and Parler has been taken off the internet because of Amazon.
Yes.
But Parler should be back on the internet by the end of February. They were hoping to be back by the end of January, but I think that was being extremely optimistic. End of February, they will be back on the internet. And Parler is a no-holds-bar, genuine, come speak your mind, say what you want to say. The only thing that you're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to incite something that will lead to somebody else's death. That's basically all you're not allowed to do. So if they can prove that, listen, what I said caused somebody to go and kill somebody else, then I'll be in cuck for that. So those are the alternatives to big tech. It's that simple, and people's got to move, Jay. You either, and why people also got to move is because of the big reset. I mean, we all now know about the big reset.
Yep. We do.
And all of these big tech guys support the big reset. They copy and miss, as the Buddha will say.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I did some research and I just wanted to share with the viewers and maybe with you too, you know. About plus minus about 50% of internet is, what can I say? It's our internet users, 50%. That's about 4.6 billion people, okay? Now listen to this quickly. China, out of 1.4 billion people, only 765 million people are using the internet, okay? India, which you spoke about, India, Nana, they have a population of 1.3 billion, only 391 million people are using the internet. America, which is 328 million, 245 million are using the internet. Okay, I'm going to skip the rest. South Africa, we are about 59 million, call it 60 million, and about 36 million of us are using the internet. Quite interesting, eh? Quite interesting. It just shows
very, very interesting.
Half the world are not
China,
using the internet.
Yeah, but the thing with China is China has got an alternative internet.
There is a lot of censorship.
Yeah. Yes, but they've got their own internet going there. That's not really part of the internet that you and I are familiar with. I just want to have a quick look here at something.
But just looking at that figure, 765 million out of 1.4 billion. That is scary.
It's a joke if you compare it to what we've got. Sorry, Jason. There's another one that I wanted to tell you about.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
As far as Facebook is concerned, the other one is called MeWe. M-E-W-E. MeWe is even better as an alternative than Gab. As a matter of fact, if people go to MeWe.com, it's phenomenal. They'll have a look at it. They'll never go back to Facebook. They'll start inviting their friends like I've been doing, and it's just bloody awesome. Yeah, that was that. So you got all of them now.
Look, my personal feeling, I think it's going to happen. I think people are slowly but surely going to disappear off Facebook. WhatsApp is just the start. I mean, people are leaving it. Yeah, there is a lot of skepticism around it. But the message around it is to teach these big tech guys a lesson. I mean, let's talk quickly about this Robinhood app that suspended, the free stock trading used by shares for GameStop.
Yes.
That is insane what happened there.
It is.
14,
but again.
$14. The share started as $14 and it went to over $400. I mean, who would ever thought?
That share started at like $2.
$2. Okay, I read last $14. Maybe it was 14 and then it went up to over 400.
It started at about $2. But you see, this is part of the fight against big tech. Big tech is just like a populist phrase, all right? So it's not just big tech, it's big tech, it's big pharmaceutical, it's big finance, it's all these things that because of the internet, the common man can now start taking these guys on. And basically what has happened in America as far as GameStop is concerned.
Yeah.
It's something that is migrated from Bitcoin. Now, when you follow Bitcoin as closely as my brother does,
yes,
they've got a thing in Bitcoin called pump and dump. And in cryptocurrency, it's very well known in cryptocurrency. It's a pump and dump. So what will happen is a group of guys will come together and they will pump a cryptocurrency. In other words, they will put big money in that thing.
Yeah, if you watch,
and then what will happen is,
if you watch the Wolf of Wall Street, then you'll understand what the pump and dump means. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. There's a good movie to watch if you want to understand it. So they'll pump it, and then out of the blue they'll start dumping it. So what what Wall Street bets is, it's a place like Facebook where they call them retailers. Those are guys that are investing in stocks and shares and on the internet and on currencies like you and me. where we tell each other things. So one oak went on there and he said, listen, Game Shop is undervalued.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And we must pump it. But he's also a maverick. He's also a maverick in the sense that he knew that the hedge funds have got stop losses at certain points. And if you pump the share past those points, then their system automatically sells and buys again at another point. So you can push it past that point again. You're really mooring this out.
That's exactly what happened.
Now, Robinhood is a platform,
Yeah.
funnily enough, also developed by ex-Russian, that allows people like you and me to go and trade.
Yeah, the name
the
itself, Robin Hood, is, to help the poor,
Yes,
basically steal
but
from
it's
the
not
rich
like
and help
that
the
now.
poor.
He's actually just a front. Yeah, he's just a front for big funds. That's
Yeah.
all.
And then what happened? Boom, Robin
there's
Hood
now
went and just stopped it, yeah.
Yes, but Robinhood didn't just stop Game Shop, because these guys went for Game Shop, they went for Samsung, they went for Nokia, they went for not Samsung, they went for BlackBerry, Nokia, American Airlines. There's about 13 or 15 shares they went and they pumped.
Fucking amazing.
And they are now busy pumping silver. The guys from Wall Street Bets are now pumping silver. So
it's strange, silver. Eh? Think about it. Silver was big back in the days, back in the Western days. In America.
yes,
Like in those years, before
Yeah.
all gold in it, silver was the currency. Yeah.
silver dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, silver dollar. Yeah. So all of this is just different people in different sectors deciding, listen, it's time to get to, it's time we fight the abuse. It's time we stop allowing fund managers to wreck everything and stuff everything up, and we stay poor. It's what it's all about.
Yeah. If you watch the YouTube videos on what happened there with GameStop and that, you'll see the public are all for it. They all say, "Lekker, get back what's owed to you. What comes around goes around." It's complete madness, eh?
Yes, and here's the other thing: ordinary people like you and me have made huge profits, and the people that are crying are the people that are pro fund managers and pro fund and stock manipulators.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I don't care who says what. The stock exchange, every stock exchange in the world is a big pyramid scheme, whether you like it or not.
Ponzi.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, Ponzi. What's the Ponzi scheme here?
Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi cum pyramid scheme. And there's a reason why I say
I know,
that
Louis, if you're watching, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. The oaks out there don't like it if you say it's a Ponzi scheme, eh?
No, they don't, but it's a
They
fact,
like you.
because the reason why shares keep on going up is because companies keep on buying shares back, and they
Yeah.
get money from government to do that. It's just one big pyramid scheme. It's nothing but that. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid scheme.
Do you remember a couple of years ago there was a thing called Triple M in this country, in South Africa? Triple M.
I remember Triple M. Yes,
Yeah,
I didn't
it
get
was,
involved in Triple M.
Exactly what we were talking about. Lots of people pumped in money, and then the government came in and stepped in and just shut it down, put an end to it. People lost money.
Yes.
Lots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jason, here's the thing. People lose money every day. But it's all good and well when the big companies cause you to lose money. I mean, a couple of guys that I know, they lost money through retirement annuities. They all bought retirement annuities and thought it was buying like a pension fund. And then the shares dropped and the retirement annuities dropped to down like 20% of the value.
Yeah.
But there was nobody arrested for fraud or misleading the public or creating false expectations. Nothing like that.
Yeah, this whole thing with GameStop, it is illegal, but I doubt that anybody's gonna get arrested. I don't think so.
Dude, it's not illegal. It's
No,
not
I
illegal.
heard, I watched a YouTube video last night. The guy from Wolf Street, that you know who I'm talking about. I forgot his name, man. He mentioned, and he spoke
Okay.
to a news group, and he said, no, it's illegal. It's definitely illegal. But he doubt that anybody will get arrested. Nobody will get arrested from it.
Okay, let me tell you why I disagree with that guy. I've seen a lot of videos where people say it's illegal, and because I like to watch both sides of the argument to come up with an opinion. Now, it's only illegal if you got insider trading.
Okay?
If you do insider trading, there where you are sitting, if you and I decide, hey, let's get all our buddies together and buy the shares, that's not illegal because we don't have insider information.
Yeah.
It's not illegal.
So why do you think?
Believe me,
So
if
why
it
do you
was
think?
illegal,
So why do you think they're saying it's illegal? What's the catch here?
propaganda.
Propaganda.
It's propaganda.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
They are pro big fund managers and pro big hedge funds.
So they're trying to put the fear.
They want to.
Are they trying to put the fear into people like me and you, not to go out there and
Yes.
do something like this again in future? Because it could happen.
Yes, to say, listen, it's illegal. You got a chance of being arrested. Because how do people control you? Through fear.
Yeah,
People
of course.
get controlled by two ways. Only two ways. One is fear, and if fear doesn't work, it's force.
Yeah.
That's how they control you.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like with COVID and lockdown. Listen, you're going to die if you don't do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And then you don't do it, and then they go and lock you up. There's a force. So it's fear followed by force. End of story.
True. I mean, read the book from George Orwell, 1984, or even better, watch the YouTube video. It's exactly what we're talking about. It's fear, pumping fear into you.
Yes.
Thought police and all that.
Yeah. So when you listen to the videos and stuff like that, they'll tell you it's illegal and it's this. But if it's illegal, why would they shut Wall Street bets down?
Yeah.
They've got the power to shut it down. If it's illegal, why not shut it down?
Big questions surrounding that. Yeah. Big questions.
Yeah, why not suspend the accounts of the guys that are saying, listen, pump. Why not do that? They've got the power to do that. They do it on Facebook, they do it on Twitter, they do it on WhatsApp. Why not do it there?
That's
you know?
So these oaks have made millions, eh? Are they going to be able?
Millions.
Are they going to be able to cash it out, or have they cashed out already? They probably cashed out already.
A lot of them already cashed out. A lot of them have done that. Yeah.
So the billions that they spoke about, it's lost already. It's gone.
Well, it's the fund managers that have lost. The fund managers, they've lost.
Hedge fund.
Not the
hedge fund managers, yeah.
Fund managers. Yeah. Do you follow? You're on Twitter, eh? You're not very big on Twitter, but you're on Twitter.
I am, but I hate Twitter. A cancerous platform.
Okay, go and look at. I know you don't like Twitter, but until Paula is back, Twitter is all we've got. On Twitter, go and follow Banker X.
Banker X, okay.
Banker X on Twitter. Go and follow that.
Yeah, what's he saying?
Yes, they give away very good tips. If you invested, I think it was something like $2,000 on their last tip, you most probably would have turned that $2,000 into something like 20 grand in a question of a couple of days. They got some good tips on there. So if you're a small time investor and you want to, and the nice thing about what they do is they're very sharp. They've got a lot of good information and they share it. And there's also WhatsApp groups. I don't want to say WhatsApp groups, but they are WhatsApp groups. There's most probably Telegram groups as well. A link to that Banker X. And I suggest people that are on the stock exchange for speculation, not for long-term investment, for speculation, go and check that out. Banker X.
Banker X, okay.
Yeah.
Look, to come back to what we were saying about Telegram, and I wanted to say, I haven't got a problem with Telegram. I actually find Telegram's platform to be actually better. They've got these channels that you can create, and you can have up to 1,000 people on these channels, and the stuff doesn't, or can I say, the photos and the files in it will not stay on your phone's memory. It will stay on the channel itself.
Yes.
And then you can download excessive files. There's no limit to it. Which on WhatsApp you can't. I mean, if you make a video,
no, you can't.
Try and put it in WhatsApp blocks you and says
beautiful.
There's a limit. So already there's plus points that Telegram is really showing themselves to be better than WhatsApp.
Bro, Telegram is like saying, you know what, Nokia was an awesome phone. Nokia is the best phone. And then you get your first smartphone. Yes, so what if also Nokia was great? We've moved on. We're now in the smartphone era. Same with WhatsApp. WhatsApp was brilliant when it came out.
Yeah.
It replaced something called Mixit, which was also awesome. We all thought, hey, Mixit, you can't get better than Mixit.
Yeah.
Then we got WhatsApp. Now everybody thinks can't get better than WhatsApp. Prove. Like you've discovered, Telegram is miles better than WhatsApp. Telegram is so good.
It happens.
Let me tell you this a little bit.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say
Telegram is so good.
Yeah. Carry on. Yeah.
Let me just say this. Telegram is so good that WhatsApp has got a dedicated team monitoring Telegram, trying to figure out why is Telegram so good.
Well,
that's how good Telegram is.
Yeah, I've just said it.
That the world leader has decided to create a dedicated group to monitor a minnow. That's how good they are. They're gonna. I'm telling you now. 2 years from now, WhatsApp will be dead. In my opinion, they don't offer it.
We spoke about Mixit. Mixit was around. It was a big thing. It was lekker. And then came BBM. BBM was a lekker thing. Everybody migrated over to BBM. Everybody had Blackberries, and then WhatsApp came. And then WhatsApp came and just destroyed BlackBerry BBM completely. So this is it. I think this is it. I think this is the end of the road for WhatsApp. My opinion. I could be
absolutely
wrong.
Absolutely. If you have to go and look at, if you go and Google the knocks that WhatsApp have taken in membership users, users, they call it users. It's frightening. I don't see how any company can survive those numbers losses and still make it in the digital
and not
space.
Just Telegram and WhatsApp and that. We spoke about it now, about the browsers and that, and Facebook and that. I also think it's the end of the road for them as well. Shoot me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you, Jason. I can't because I'm pro alt tech. I'm pro alt tech, and the reasons why I'm pro alt tech is because they give me absolute freedom of expression, and that to me is very important. I actually just said to somebody on Sunday, on the Friday, they said something to me, and they said, "You make me so angry when you say this." And I waited. I didn't take that person on there, and then I waited for a couple of days, and I went back to that person. And I say, "You know what? Friday, you made this statement that I made you so angry when I said this and that." I said, "Let me tell you something. I exist to express myself. It is, while my brothers say I'm the most opinionated person he's ever come across. And you can get as angry as you like. You can do what you want. You will never ever stop me to say what I like to say or want to say." And that is why I hate Facebook. That's why I hate Twitter. That's why I hate YouTube. Now, I just wish that these guys like Ramon and Germ and who's the other guy?
Ronaldo. Yeah.
I just wish they would get off their asses, and do what they always claim they're going to do, and get off YouTube. Just dump it, like Joe Rogan. Dump the bloody thing. There's many people that's dump it, but no, they keep it alive. These guys that want to tell us how cuck government is and how this and how that, they don't have the balls to do the right thing and get off these things. They're still on YouTube. Why? I don't even watch them on YouTube anymore.
No, Joe Rogan, I think he's still on YouTube. But he's just, he's censored.
What happens is,
Joe Rogan doesn't have that freedom of expression anymore. There's a lot of things that he just doesn't speak about like he used to. He has been censored.
But those things don't make it to YouTube anymore. YouTube censors the things that he can and can't put on there. He's now with Spotify. Joe Rogan's with Spotify. And if you go onto the Spotify podcast and stuff, you'll see there's shit on there that you'll never see on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because YouTube just says straight, you can't say this, you can't say that. But these so-called, what do they call themselves? Something buddies or something brews. They've got this thing that I was seeing the other day. The three of them do a show together. I don't know how often. And they call them something brews.
Well, you're talking about Germ, Ronaldo, and Podbros.
Germ, Ronaldo, and Ramon.
Ramon Kavanagh, yeah.
They got this thing
they call themselves Podbros, yeah. Pod
Pod
bros.
bros.
Yeah,
They
pod
pod
bros.
bros. They try and create this. We are activists. We are internet activists. Well, then get the fuck off the YouTube. Be an activist. Do what you say. You know.
Yeah.
Don't be like flipping Julius Malema that says I'm a socialist, but then he goes to country clubs and he wears Gucci and he bullshit, man. You know, don't be a fake.
Yeah,
Take
no,
the
I hear
hard
you.
line. Take the harder way. It's easy to be on YouTube. You know.
Well,
But move your people over to
YouTube.
you to
YouTube.
Rumble.
YouTube pays them. YouTube gives them money.
Pittance, man.
The
They'll get
videos are
more money from
monetized,
Rumble.
and not only that,
They'll
it's
get a lot more money from Rumble. As a
what's
matter of fact, on Rumble, they'll get more exposure than YouTube because YouTube, when I used to watch Germ, I don't watch them anymore. I don't watch him. I don't watch Roman anymore. And I don't watch Ronaldo for the simple reason they all talk and no do. And Germ used to always bitch and complain, when you type in something, you'll never find his channel because the YouTube algorithm doesn't expose him.
no, but they did.
So fuck,
YouTube,
bro, move
yeah, but
away.
YouTube they censored him, big time. They
I know
censored him.
that, but then move away, go to Rumble. Even you must go to Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's
also on
easy.
BitTube, but yeah, BitTube's a bit slow.
Rumble is much faster growing. Rumble is the fastest growing alternative to YouTube. Rumble and Gab-tv. Personally, I'll go for Rumble because they purely video.
Yeah.
Gab is trying to be a Facebook and a YouTube all in one.
Yeah.
That's why I would say Rumble. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Let's call it. Let's
Shot.
call it a night. Don't go.
Thanks, Jason.
Don't go. I just want to give off my closing, and then we can just say goodbye. Okay. All right. Once again, Pieter, thank you very much. Thank you for joining my podcast. My podcast is available on YouTube, ironically, BitTube, Anchor FM, Spotify, and there's various other platforms out there. Pieter, thanks again, my man. Appreciate it. I'll catch you.
Jason.
Catch you on the
Thanks for
flip
having
side. Cheers.
Yes, we do.